quick Google search will let you know that there are over 4,000 religions in the world, give or take a few, of course. This is a staggering number of beliefs, ideas, and worldviews. But it brings up an interesting question. Let's say you wanted to know which one of these religions is true. Does that mean that you have to study each one of them, all 4,000 plus, to finally figure out which one is actually true? Well, no, you don't. You don't have to study every single one of the 4,000 plus religions to find out which one is true. And the reason why is pretty simple. The reason is that all religions have core beliefs, and they often share core beliefs. Now, core beliefs are pretty straightforward. They are core or essential to the religion, meaning that if a core belief is false, then the whole religion crumbles. So, for example, a major belief or tenet of Catholicism is the belief in the authority of the Roman Catholic Church or the authority of the Pope. So, if you were going to test the Catholic worldview, Catholicism itself, that would be a core belief that you would want to look into and test, because if the authority of the Church, the Roman Catholic Church, if the authority of the Pope, if that position on all of that stuff is false, then it really brings Catholicism, that worldview, into question. Now, does it mean that every belief that Catholics hold or that is in Catholicism is therefore questionable or untrue? No. For example, Catholics believe in monotheism, which is the belief in a one true God. So, if you were to study Catholicism and you found that the authority of the Church and the position of the Pope and the authority of the Pope were false, that does not mean that the Catholic belief of monotheism is false. It just means that the worldview of Catholicism is now in question because one of its major core beliefs, one of the major parts of its foundation, the Roman Catholic Church and the Pope, has just crumbled. But you go on to another part of its foundation, which is monotheism, and you test that, and if you find that to be true, then what you do is you say, okay, we have this worldview, Catholicism. We have tested two major foundational truths that it holds. So what do you do with the Catholic worldview? Well, you hold on to monotheism because you've already tested it. You know that that's true. You say, okay, I know monotheism is true. So then anything that pushes against monotheism, you would have to reject because you've already tested monotheism. You know that it's true. I hope that this is understandable in showing sort of the process of elimination and how to work through these different worldviews, because there are so many, and how to work through them and their beliefs without having to study every single one individually. So let's say you have 1,000 religions, but 700 of them share the core belief of pantheism. 200 have the core belief of panentheism, and 100 whose core belief is monotheism. Then all you have to do is study pantheism, panentheism, and monotheism. Whichever one of these is true will narrow down your search. So if monotheism is true, you just narrow the possible true religions from 1,000 to 100. Then you narrow it again by finding other core beliefs and testing them. This is basically the process of elimination. But we don't always think to use this process, especially with topics like this. This makes the process of studying religions and finding the truth so much easier, because you don't have to study all the ins and outs of a religion. Instead, you only have to study the core belief, what is actually vital to that worldview's survival. So the process is easier because the number of core beliefs is less than the number of actual religions, but you're not compromising any truth claims. Even if you just answered the questions like, is there a God? Is he pantheistic, panentheistic, monotheistic? Is he a part of nature or outside of it? Has he, at any point throughout history, communed with humans or, any contact with us at all? And is there an afterlife? Even if you just answered and, asked and answered those 5 questions, you would get so far in the search of finding out what is true. So, as you can see, you don't have to feel overwhelmed by the amount of religions and worldviews out there in the world. Instead, just study their core beliefs, test them, and see what holds up. By the way, this works for non-religious worldviews as well, because even those have core beliefs or core truths that they need to survive. Now, of course, you can study any and all religions for the enjoyment of it or for curiosity. But if you are wondering what religion or worldview is actually true, what one actually has facts to back it up, what one is worth following because it's true, then for that search, you don't need to look at every single religion or worldview. Just test the core beliefs, the necessary beliefs, and see what one holds up and are true. It will certainly help your search and help you find the truth a lot easier.